How's it going, everyone? Badger here, and got a little bit of gaming news to start out the year, really, because this is the first gaming news we talked about, and also it's about Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, which last year we talked about a couple of those stories. One of them being the reaction to the fact that apparently it looked like, at least for a while, that the last time we were going to see Kevin Conroy. I mean, this is definitely the last time we're going to see Kevin Conroy as Batman, but the last depiction of that was him being executed by Harley Quinn, which, to no one's surprise, upset a lot of people. And then we had another leak stories on top of that after further data mining, all of those are going to be supposed fake outs, and that the Justice League itself is, of course, because this is a, and that's going to be, I think, the point of this article is that Justice League is, or Kill the Justice League rather, is going to be a games as a service live action, which means it's going to be thin AF, and they're going to fill it with DLC. And some of that DLC will, in fact, be the Justice League itself. That there was a larger threat that would be alluded to at the end of that game. That again is just expansions and DLC and skins, and you could just tell that this is going to be selling skins of the Suicide Squad and weapons and colors for your teleporting pack. But let's get into this article here. This is the reaction from a lot of the mainstream press, which most of the time, what the hell do they know? But it seems to line up a lot with what you could have expected. I mean, this game smells to me of the Marvel Avengers game, probably going to have the same fate. Bounding into comics, when a game tailor made according to market research, which is basically the same thing as doing a movie for the modern audience, don't do it, manages to lose the easy to please mainstream video game press, it's almost a guarantee that a historic sales disaster is on the horizon. To the surprise of no one, this is shaping up to be the case for Rocksteady Games and their upcoming Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. As a recent preview event for the title has left the aforementioned demographic outright uninterested in spending time with the titular team for even a nanosecond longer than their employment obligations require them to. Oof. That's not a hyperbolic description of the gaming press reaction either. It's a largely unwanted sequel to that. Largely unwanted. Again, it's one of those that's like, stop making games about Batman without fucking Batman in it. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm looking at you, Gotham Knights. It's just, bro, and no one wants to kill the Justice League. That's a niche. It's a niche product where we want to play as the Justice League. I digress. Surprising to no one, previewed to invited parties at a recent hands-on event in Los Angeles, California, was met with borderline disgust from nearly every gaming outlet that was invited to play its test build. Offering his thoughts for IGN, the outlet's director of video content strategy and what do you say? From enslaving, because that was the other thing. God, I blocked it out. Poison Ivy is back, even though she died in Arkham Knight. She's back as like Groot version, as baby Poison Ivy, like a little girl, little child girl. Interesting comments from Harley Quinn, even though, yes, I understand the context is they're supposed to be besties. It just comes off weird because the last several depictions have been then married or in lesbian relationships. So, yeah. Anyway, from enslaving, this is what Destin says, from enslaving a child form of Poison Ivy to straight up watching your heroes murder people, there's a lot here to make you feel. When he says watching your heroes murder, maybe he means the actual Justice League because they are taken over by Brainiac. There's a lot here to make you feel a bit uncomfortable about the journey you're being taken on. And when you pair this disconnect with game mechanics straight out of the likes of Destiny, Anthem, or Marvel's Avengers, and Anthem 2, that was, but Marvel's Avengers, that is what we'll see. This is what this game is probably going to be. I'm left worried about the final product coming together in a way that works. Oh, Jesus. Here we have some footage of it, and it just, the generic number counters, expand. You have King Shark using a minigun. Bro, use your bare hands. You're fucking King Shark. Expanding on his grievances with the title's actual gameplay, Laguerre continued. Once the fun story bits end, you're left with a much less inspired combat system and an open world that's filled with tedious tasks that are more about grinding through traditional tropes like point defense or collect the material and turn in. Oh, there are shiny. That's shit from 20 years ago in an MMO. Grind this much and then turn it in. There are shining moments with the combat, such as the powerful feeling of takedowns, and there does seem to be some depth to the build variety, but you'll do it surrounded by teammates who won't shut up with their quips, which quickly we're going to see the same 5 dialogue options for each character repeated over and over again. It looks like the player has a good grasp of movement, but it all comes back to similar core mechanics. He added aim gun, shoot gun, and those core mechanics in a game like Destiny really save it. Here, it just felt samey across the board, even with each character's abilities sprinkled. So it sounds like some of the takedowns are fun and the story elements are going to be fine, but it's going to be linked together with lazy ass gameplay and I can only imagine this mess of an open world with missions and pop up everywhere. Writing for GameSpot, Phil Hornshaw recalled of his time. I came away unsure of its mix of live game content, loot shooter, or looter shooter, RPG systems, and shooter combat could capture lightning in a bottle the way Arkham. And that was the problem also with Marvel's Avengers. It was a looter game with no fucking loot in it. My biggest takeaway from Suicide Squad is that I want to play it in a way that it's meant to be played, he wrote. When the combat and transversal systems come together, especially when you can start to customize a particular build, like one that has you constantly throwing souped up grenades and leaving them in your wake as you slide away from danger, they're fluid and exciting. But there's a lot to get the hang of here, and falling out of the flow or losing track of its many ins and outs killed the momentum fairly often. And then here, yeah, it, games live as a service, menu heavy, gear scored laden DNA, a slice of live service missions intercut with funny narrative beats suggested to game. It was attempting to be a bit of both and ends up being neither. It sounds exactly like Marvel's Avengers Marvel. Yeah, not looking good. I'm sure it might have some decent cinematics and a couple of good story missions, but overall, I don't think anyone is asking for this. And again, this is just going to maybe attract the whales that want to go around and buy all the colorful new skins and stuff, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And the only way I'm playing this is if it goes on Game Pass, which is probably true for most people. Let me know. Are you excited for this? If you are, hey, God bless you. I hope it's good. Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you've done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And we'll see you on the next one.